Good morning and welcome to the 2025 Duluth Air and Aviation Expo brought to you by Essentia Health. I'm Jason Vincent. I am so glad to be here with you this morning here live at the Air Grounds. If you are at home joining our live broadcast on YouTube or Facebook, make sure to share it on your social media with all your friends so they can join us on the fun that we are going to have over the next hour and a half. We're going to be sharing information that will hopefully make your visit here to the Air and Aviation Expo seamless. We want you to have no issues as you come and enjoy a beautiful day here in Duluth. We're going to be bringing up some performers throughout the morning here, as well as supporters who have made this event possible. So let's kick off this first half hour. It's what's on everybody's mind. Of course, it is the weather. The weather always plays an issue when you have a huge event like this, and so we want to give you some facts about what we know so far. Right now, the rain has subsided here at the airport, which is great news. But here's a good thing to know. The air show still does go on, even if there is rain. Those can still get in the air, which is good news. Although we do need about 1,200-foot cloud ceilings and 3-mile visibility for the aircraft. Take a look there live at the air show grounds. A little bit wet, but no rain showers right now, which is good. We're going to do our best to keep that schedule flexible throughout the day today so that we can take advantage of any openings in the weather if those cloud ceilings do become an issue. So for example, if there's under 1,000 feet of cloud ceiling at 10, we're not going to have any aircraft in the air. If at 11, those ceilings open up, we're going to get aircraft in the air, and we're going to do this dance all day long until we have the complete show done. Now, obviously, if there is thunder and lightning, we will go into a show hold until that passes through the area. Just make sure to check with your local weather app before coming out today. Weather changes all the time. You can see here on the radar there is some clearing starting to make its way toward Duluth. We're hopeful by about 11 o'clock we should hopefully see some clearing in those skies. You can hear behind me there, that is the U.S. Navy Blue Angels getting ready and warming up if you hear that noise behind us. Well, let's take a look at what it takes to put on an air show of this size every year. It's essentially unheard of for a community of our size to have a show of this size every single year. But yet, here we are yet again. The first Duluth Air and Aviation Expo, produced by Kern & Company, was held back in 2001. It was every 2 years. Then in 2016, it became every year. Another interesting fact for you, the Duluth Air Show, it's actually the largest ticketed event north of the Twin Cities. It brings in about 50,000 spectators throughout this weekend. And all of those people, they're really helping out our economy here in Duluth. This event alone will generate about $15 million in economic impact for our region. Now, as I said, this is an extra special Duluth Air Show this year. It is the only Minnesota Air Show in 2025 that is hosting a major demonstration team. But it's not just one, folks. This is the first time also in Duluth Air Show history, 2 major demonstration teams are performing at the same time. Of course, we're talking about, there they are in the video, the U.S. Navy Blue Angels, and they are going to be joined by the Canadian Forces Snowbirds. So we're going to be joined now by one of the folks with the air show. She is also known as the Air Show Information Director. Lindsay Kern is joining us now. Lindsay, thanks for joining us for a historic day here in Duluth. So let's talk about probably what's on the top of everybody's mind, and that's weather. How is weather going to impact the day? I briefly talked a little bit about it, but I think you can probably do a much better job than I can.
Well, we're going to wait to hear the performers are in the briefing right now, and so they are determining what the weather is going to look like. They're partnering with the National Weather Service to see what is that cloud ceiling going to be throughout the day. And so they're looking at all those pockets of time, the puzzle, but that's what they're working on right now, and as soon as they're out of that briefing, we'll have a lot more information.
Now, I know one of the questions that has been coming up on social media, and I'm sure you've been getting this question a lot in the office, if they don't want to come out today and they have a general admission ticket, what can they do?
Right, so general admission tickets can be used either day, Saturday or Sunday, just not both days. So if you have a general admission ticket and you're making the decision, you know what, I just am going to be more comfortable, I think, tomorrow
Now, you only mentioned general admission. What about the folks who have presidential chalet or flight line? I know that's different.
So for presidential chalet and flight line seating, you have a specific seat. And so it doesn't transfer to the next day. We don't have that same flexibility because someone will be sitting in that seat tomorrow. So you do need to make that decision to come today, be here, be with us. Just dress for the weather, right? Or be comfortable when you're here.
Sounds great. Well, let's talk about this show. It's a historic show. First time ever that we've had 2 major demonstration teams. Had to have been a lot of work to get this off the ground.
So it takes about 18 months to plan a show, and we are applying for those demonstration teams 2 years in advance. So it's a 2-year deadline for us to make that application to say, hey, we're interested in you 2 years from now. And then from there, 1 year out, they tell us that we have been selected as a show site. So we're thrilled to have the Blue Angels back with us. We are thrilled to have the Snowbirds here from Canada. It's going to be an amazing night.
You don't do those alone. You have a huge team behind you. Talk to us about that group of people that works year-round to put this event together.
Right. So we have a team that's in the office. That's a little bit unique in the air show industry, that we have a year-round team of 5 people who spend every day working on the air show. But we also have a leadership team of over 30 individuals from the community who really invest in this event and share their talent, they share their resources, they share their time with us, and bring their expertise here. And then each leadership team member has the opportunity to create their own committee. So again, bringing in people that share that expertise that they have, so that we have people in each role in this event who are the leaders in whatever that field is.
One of my favorite things to talk to you about is, I'm trying to remember the phrase you say is, come to the show and be an air show pro. You say it better than I do, but talk to me about what it takes to be a successful air show patron.
We want everyone to air show like a pro.
There you go.
Absolutely. That's really important to us, and so we provide all of the information that you need to come and be an air show pro on our website, DuluthAirshow.com. You can check out what you can bring in, what we think that you should bring with you, and then also what we don't want you to bring with you. Today, as it's raining out, there's different weather that we're going to expect throughout the day. We want you to dress in layers. We want you to have brimmed hats. We're going to be under the open sky, and we're going to be looking up for the majority of the day. So sunglasses, brimmed hats. We prefer ponchos over an umbrella. You're going to be more comfortable moving around. You're probably not going to want to pop up an umbrella in the crowd, impeding other people's visibility. So if you need an umbrella to come in from the parking lots, that's okay, but we're not going to have you seated with an umbrella over you, blocking views of other people. So those are some things. Also, ear protection is really important. Our presenting partner, Essentia Health, is providing free foam earplugs for everyone when you come in the gate. And so be sure to stop at their booth and pick up free earplugs. But then if you have children that are coming, we recommend the over-the-ear, like ear muff style. That's just going to offer a little bit more protection, and it's something that they can wear kind of throughout the day. Our announcer is going to do a really great job of letting the audience know when it's going to be loud. So if you want to take them off when you're moving about and then put them on when you hear those cues, that's important as well. Sunscreen, maybe not as much needed this morning, but I think this afternoon and all day tomorrow, definitely have sunscreen. If you forget it, come and see us at the information tent. We're really the mom of 50,000 people here this weekend, so.
There's no better mom than you, Lindsay. Great job. Thank you for joining us. We look forward to seeing how the performer meeting goes at 9:30, and we'll get an update after that. We're going to take a quick break and thank our sponsors who are helping make this event possible.
The Duluth Airshow would like to thank all of our sponsors and partners for helping us host the largest air show in Minnesota. We would like to thank Essentia Health, Cirrus Aircraft, Edward Jones, Black Bear Casino Resort, Synovus Superior Refinery, Kern & Company. Official aircraft services are provided by Monaco Air Duluth, B105 FM, Northern News Now, St. Louis County, Minnesota, Jimmy John's, Chase Security, J.R. Jensen Construction, Pier B Resort, Arrowhead Printing, City of Duluth, Frame Corner and Gallery, Anytime Fitness, Country Inn and Suites, AVR, Lynette's Portrait Design, Consolidated Communications, and Helver Lines.
Welcome back to the 2025 Duluth Air and Aviation Expo. You probably hear a lot of noise in the background. That's because our friends from the Navy Blue Angels are warming up their planes right now. So bear with us. We'll try to talk as loud as we can to make sure you can hear us on our YouTube and Facebook stream. But I am joined by a very special guest now, the Mayor of Duluth, Roger Reinert. Great to have you with us. You've been a part of this show, not just as the mayor, but as part of the volunteer team forever. Tell us about your past with the air show and where it's led you today.
Sure. Yeah, and you're right. I've been a part of the air show really since the beginning. I think the only one I ever missed was when I was deployed in Afghanistan. So, it's fun to actually be in this building. This was sort of my domain when I was a volunteer on the board of directors. And it really is a lot of credit to Ryan and Lindsay. Ryan had this idea back in '03 to bring an air show back to Duluth. We hadn't had one for a while. And as we started to put it back together, the advice from previous air shows was don't do it. They had not worked. They had financially really failed. The community did not have a good feeling about air shows. But kudos to Ryan, who was like, we're going to do this anyway. And fast forward 25 years, and now I get to have the honor of being Duluth's 40th mayor. And what I will say is the air show really does two really fantastic things. Number one, it helps highlight our aviation industry, which is a strong part of our economic sector here in Duluth. And number two, it's one of those big, huge cornerstone events that really puts Duluth on the map, both nationally and internationally.
We briefly mentioned it earlier, but it's also a huge economic driver. This is a $15 million event for the weekend. What does an event like that over the weekend mean for the city of Duluth?
Yeah, it's funny, as mayor, you have to do both cheerleading of major events and then reminding residents that we like having people visit our community. Because as we said, number one, people come and they visit Duluth and they do things like Grandma's Marathon and the Duluth Airshow or Bentley Meal in the winter, and they go home and they say fabulous things about Duluth. Number two is so we have a food and beverage and a hotel motel tax that actually helps fund some of our core city services. It helps fund some of our public-facing amenities like parks and things like that. But number two, in Duluth, we also have a 1% sales tax that goes straight into our general fund. So I always remind our residents, every time visitors are here and something like the Duluth Airshow will bring in tens of thousands of visitors over the weekend, they are helping pay for Duluth City services all year long.
One of the other things you highlighted was our aviation industry. It's a huge part of who we are in Duluth. How does this event really help highlight that sector?
Well, you think you come to an air show and a lot of people come to see, especially the military aircraft. Everyone is here to see the Blue Angels. I'm Navy, I'm partial to the best of the best of the best, sir. But you also get a chance to just learn about aviation, about general aviation. I'm a private pilot, so I use airports all the time. And we kind of forget that there are airports everywhere. And in Duluth, the fact that we have the Duluth Airport with international access, with commercial traffic, with military, with the 148, with manufacturing like Cirrus Aviation, it is a huge part of our economic sector. It counts for hundreds of jobs in the Duluth area. And it also helps us, because we have such diverse economy with different sectors like aviation, it helps us really weather some of the more challenging economic times.
Let's talk politics for just a brief moment. You mentioned the airport. It was a huge part of your time at the legislature this year, trying to advocate and get money brought back. What were some of the successes that you saw come out of the session that wrapped up only a few weeks ago, I guess?
Well, for the city of Duluth, there weren't many. We were trying to work on some really core infrastructure projects. But since we're at the airport, I will say the fact that the Duluth Airport got funded for a new terminal is huge. That was mostly federal money, and we needed some state money to sort of come in and cap that off. But we have the second oldest terminal in the entire country for a busy airport with Delta commercial traffic, United commercial traffic, Cirrus Aviation, the 148, we need a modern state-of-the-art airport terminal, for FAA to work in, for us to direct traffic, have all of the state-of-the-art equipment, and it will also be relocated and made taller, because right now they can't actually even see all the way down the flight line, which is just a basic safety concern. So while the session overall was disappointing for me as mayor, I'm very excited that the airport was funded for their new terminal.
Another year, another battle. That's what you do in politics. You get ready to go back at it next year. So tell me, what are you most looking forward to at the air show? I know you said Navy and the Blue Angels, but them aside, do you have anything else you're looking forward to?
I actually really enjoy going around and talking to things that are related to general aviation. So getting a chance to visit with the Civil Air Patrol, getting a chance to visit with some of the folks who own these classic Warbird airplanes. Those are labors of love, just like an antique car. They don't make the parts anymore. No one knows how to do it. So these individuals are really skilled and really passionate about their aircraft. The military stuff, I know, again, is what most people come to see, but as a private pilot, the general aviation is the part that I really enjoy. And it really is about looking at the statics, talking to the pilots, who just like at a classic car show, they love showing off their airplanes and talking about what they can do and what their history is.
Great. Well, Duluth Mayor Roger Reinert, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Have a great air show. We're going to take a quick break and thank those sponsors again who helped make this event possible.
The Duluth Airshow would like to thank all of our sponsors and partners for helping us host the largest air show in Minnesota. We would like to thank Essentia Health, Cirrus Aircraft, Edward Jones, Black Bear Casino Resort, Synovus Superior Refinery, Star Tribune, Como Oil and Propane, Burnix, Members Cooperative Credit Union, Super One Foods, Waste Management, Sheraton Hotel Duluth, City of Hermantown, Blackwoods Grill and Bar, Lake Superior Helicopters, 148th Fighter Wing, RS&H, Arrowhead Transit, Canal Park Brewing, RJ Sport and Cycle, Grandma's Marathon, Jamar, Destination Duluth, and Barker's Island Inn and Resort.
Welcome back, everyone, to the 2025 Duluth Air and Aviation Expo. So far, it's actually been a very beautiful morning out here. The rain has stopped, which is great news. And I'm joined by one of those folks that are helping an event like this size become possible. It's one of our sponsors for the event with Edward Jones. So if you want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you're doing here.
Yeah, my name is Shelly Haleska. I'm the market leader for Edward Jones in this part of the country. And we're just excited to be here. We decided we wanted to be a part of a major sponsor for the air show this year. And we're excited. We're using it as a cultural event. We're using it to help broadcast what our company's about, but also help raise some money for Alzheimer's through our volunteer hours.
So let's talk a little bit about that. For those of you who are unfamiliar with what Edward Jones is, tell us what your company does.
Yeah, so we're an investment firm, and we're transitioning into more of a wealth management firm, but our company is over 100 years old, founded by Ted Jones himself, and his goal was to bring investment guidance, brokerage advice across the country. So if you drive within 30 minutes, pretty much anywhere in the United States up into Canada, you'll probably find an Edward Jones office. So we have the greatest size and scale across the country, largest partnership in the United States, and all the way up into Canada. And so now our company is really trying to get out there and promote. We're adding financial planning this year, so we're turning into a financial planning firm, separate and apart from just investment advice. So yeah, so we've been here a long time, and we're excited to get some more penetration into the Duluth area.
So there's a lot of events that you can partner with. Why did you choose the Duluth Air and Aviation Expo to be a part of?
Yeah, so we know obviously we want a part of something that makes community impact, and we know how much this impacts this community. We love the backing of it and the pride we have in America, and we're very aligned with that. Just as well as it's just a great opportunity to really make a big impact in this community. We know how much this has been around, it's had a long history, and so being a part of something so special just felt very special to our company.
Now, you briefly mentioned your partnership with the Alzheimer's Association. Can you talk to us a little bit about that more? And I know they're here at the expo as well.
Yeah, so if we think about clients, Alzheimer's is the number one disease that affects a lot of our elderly clients, and those trying to make investment decisions, it's a huge challenge, and it affects a lot of Americans. And so Alzheimer's is the company that we wanted to most sponsor with. So every year we give millions of dollars to Alzheimer's, and so we thought that was a great opportunity to also find some funding and give back to Alzheimer's through the Duluth Airshow.
So if folks want to come and meet with you and your staff here at the expo today or tomorrow, tell us where they can come find you.
Yeah, so we have a big booth set up here right next to Alzheimer's. We'll have some of our own local financial advisors who will be at the booth. They'll be handing out business cards, telling a little bit more about our company, as well as just trying to promote the Alzheimer's Association and giving back to that great cause as well.
All right, wild card question. What are you most looking forward to being here at the Air and Aviation Expo?
Oh, you got to go with the Blue Angels. Yeah, so we saw them come in last night. It's just phenomenal, just the polish and the professionalism, and I'm just so excited for their showing this afternoon at 3.
Excellent. Shelley, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for the support of this event. It really helps make it possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
For those of you who are still at home, we want to make it very easy for you to get here today. As much as possible, parking can be an issue, so we want to try to make it as good as possible. So purchase your tickets ahead of time. Only go to DuluthAirshow.com to buy those parking tickets. They are not sold anywhere else for this event, so please beware of scammers. Now the orange lot, you'll see it on your screen there. It is sold out both today and tomorrow. As of now though, the teal and the green are still available. Patience are key. You are coming to a huge event, which has a lot of people, very large crowds, so lines will be long and waits can be long. Those parking lots are all run by our amazing team of volunteers who are helping raise money for their organization, so know that they're working hard to make this event as smooth as possible. Now we want to share some insider tips with you to also help make your visit here to the Air Show experience the best it can be. First and foremost, bring ear protection, especially for those little kiddos. Some of the planes are quite loud. The announcer does do a great job, though, of letting you know when you may want to get those earplugs in. Essentia Health, our sponsor for the event today, is handing out free foam earplugs, but sometimes the bigger earplugs are better for the kids. Also, be sure to bring bag chairs if you are in general seating. Unless you are in the Presidential Chalet or Flight Line, you will need to bring your own seat. Also, plan to eat on site, as outside food and beverages are not allowed. Cash is a good thing. There are ATMs here, but a lot of the vendors do also take credit cards. Another insider tip for later today, use that restroom before heading back to your vehicle, because like any large event with thousands of people, there's going to be some traffic getting out of here. And finally, if you are tagging us on Facebook or on your social media, make sure to tag Duluth Airshow. We would love to see your comments. We're going to take one more quick break to thank our sponsors. We'll be right back.
The Duluth Airshow would like to thank all of our sponsors and partners for helping us host the largest air show in Minnesota. We would like to thank Essentia Health, Cirrus Aircraft, Edward Jones, Black Bear Casino Resort, Synovus Superior Refinery, Renewal by Anderson, United States Marine Corps, Navy League of Minnesota, Boat Club Restaurant and Bar, Chick-fil-A, Penske, Miller Lite, Senate Blacktop, Minnesota Power, Lakeshore Ice, Holiday Inn and Suites Downtown, Holiday Station Stores, Hampton Inn Superior, Holiday Inn Express Superior, Duluth International Airport, Suites at Waterfront, Fleet Farm, and Kraus Anderson.
Welcome back to the 2025 Duluth Air and Aviation Expo. Now we get to call these folks our neighbors, and we see them often flying in the air. But let's learn a little bit more about the 148th from Colonel Asta. He is joining me now. It's great to have you here again. Tell us about the 148th.
Yeah, the 148th is our local Air National Guard unit here, located just on the other side of the runway here at the Duluth Airport. We have 22 F-16s next door. We have over 1,000 airmen in 66 different career fields supporting our state and our federal, our country when needed.
So what role does the 148th do as part of an event like this?
Yeah, so our firefighters run the whole entire fire department for the airport, so they are providing coverage for the entire day here. If there was any sort of incident, they would be responding. That's the big one. We are also flying a few jets, kicking off the air show. We'll do that today and tomorrow. And then we have a lot of our members who are deeply involved in the community, and they volunteer at this event. So even though they're not wearing military uniforms, they're wearing the Air Expo collared shirts today, volunteering.
So how does an Air Expo or an event like this help with your recruiting efforts or just getting the word out about the 148th?
Yeah, I think a lot of this is about showing people what aviation is all about, not only flying airplanes, but fixing airplanes and everything that's involved. So you want to get kids to see this when they're young and show them that they can do this or be a part of it. And so I think that's the big picture part of these air shows across the country. That's why you see the Blue Angels here and the military heavily involved to show the capabilities that they have. So these young kids can see that there is a possibility for me to do that in the future. So that's kind of the big thing. And then just to show our public, our taxpayers, what we do. And we're demonstrating what we do.
Now, speaking of the kids and being interactive, are there exhibits that folks can explore that you have set up here today?
Well, I think not only the 148th, but in general, everybody has some sort of static display here or other events. In the past, we've had some loading type events where they load our aircraft and show the general public what maybe behind the scenes, not only just the flying portion, but behind the scenes. But today and tomorrow, we're just primarily doing the flying portion of it.
So I've been asking everybody this oddball question. So what is your favorite part of the Duluth Air and Aviation Expo?
Oh, my favorite part, I think it's just the community coming together, being excited about aviation. And when you walk around this event, you see people, eyes to the sky when the jets are flying, just a general excitement about it. And I have a deep passion for aviation, so I really enjoy seeing that.
Colonel Issa, thank you so much for being with us again. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
You bet. All right, we're just getting started here at the 2025 Duluth Air and Aviation Expo. We have a whole nother hour ahead. In our next half hour, though, we have St. Louis County Commissioner Annie Harla joining us to talk about the county's role, as well as one of our main attractions, the Canadian Force Snowbirds. Stay with us. We'll be back shortly.
The Duluth Airshow would like to thank all of our sponsors and partners for helping us host the largest air show in Minnesota. We would like to thank Essentia Health, Cirrus Aircraft, Edward Jones, Black Bear Casino Resort, Synovus Superior Refinery, Comfort Inn, Hampton Inn, Canal Park Lodge, Lake Superior College, True by Hilton, Lift Bridge Lodge, Arrow Point Medical Center, Sun Country Airlines, Ridgeview Country Club, Dairy Queen, Daymark Designs, Northland Fitness, Grandma's Saloon and Grill, Residence in Duluth, Hampton in Duluth Mall area, and Johnson, Killen, and Seiler.
Air and Aviation Expo presented by Essentia Health. I'm Jason Vincent, and I am excited to be here this morning to share with you this historic weekend. Here's a live look out at the fairgrounds, and right now, no rain, which is great, and we're hoping that it continues to stay away. It's been so far a good morning. If you are at home enjoying this YouTube broadcast on YouTube or Facebook, share it with your friends. We'd love to have all of you join us this morning and learn all about the Duluth Air Show and what we are offering on this historic weekend. We're going to be sharing information with you over the next hour to make your visit here to the air show as seamless as possible. We're also going to bring up some performers and some supporters to hear about their impact on this year's event. So let's kick off this next half hour with a look at today's weather. It's what everybody's talking about. We had some rain showers move through this morning, but so far it has dried up. That is good news. But here's the most important thing to know. The air show does fly in the rain. The air show still goes on. It does not affect the aircraft's ability to perform. Take a live look at the radar there. You can see that rain is slowly making its way out of the Twin Ports, which is great news. I think we're expecting about 11 o'clock for it to be fully out of the area, which we are really looking forward to, and then hopefully we can have a great rest of the day and get those planes up. Now, one important thing to note is they need about 1,200 feet of cloud ceilings and 3-mile visibility to get those aircraft in the air. They do their best to keep that schedule flexible, which is why you will see we don't have an exact schedule posted yet, because we want to keep it as flexible as possible. When the cloud ceilings allow, we're going to get those aircraft in the air. Now, obviously, if there is thunder or lightning, we will go into a show hold until that passes. But just make sure to check your weather apps and see what the weather is like and plan ahead as you come on out here for the show. We've got a great day ahead, and we're going to bring up a special guest now. She is one of our familiar faces here on the air show pre-show. She is St. Louis County Commissioner Annie Harla. Annie, thanks for being with us yet again for another great year.
Good morning, and thank you for having me, Jason.
Tell us a little bit about the county's role in making this historic air show possible.
You know, we love being a part of the air show. It's an incredibly important driver that brings a lot of people from all around St. Louis County here. In fact, I have some friends coming down from Vermilion Lake Township tomorrow to check it out. So we've been a sponsor for many years, but also we make sure that we bring our Veteran Services Officer here, and it's just a great place that we're able to gather.
Tell us a little bit about how the county departments, I mean, there's a lot of folks that has to come together to put an event on like this. Many of them from the county. How does all of your county departments help partner to make it happen?
So while you're here, you can always check out the station for the St. Louis County Rescue Squad. They're on the front line so often of hard days, but meet them on a day where they get to show you all their cool things, and they're all volunteers that come together to serve there. And if you're a veteran, please stop by our veterans booth where you can talk to our veteran service officer. They do such a wonderful thing. If you you can talk to them and make sure you are receiving the benefits as a veteran or a family member of a veteran that you have earned as someone that served our country.
So besides the educational opportunities, which are abound here, it's also a huge economic driver for not only the city but the county. Let's talk a little bit about that economic impact.
You know, bringing people to this region is not always an easy feat. People want to visit for a little bit, but to throw an event like this really brings people to another part of town that we don't know. We have this great aviation hub, and I hope that while people are able to invest while they're up here, they're bringing their kids, or maybe they themselves are thinking, hey, I could work at one of these places. I could work at the 148th. I could work at Sirius. I could work at the airport. What are the ways that we can continue to build our economy through helping younger kids dream, but also the impact of this weekend?
Let's talk politics for just a quick moment. I can't have you on stage and not talk about it. We just wrapped up the legislative session a few weeks ago. Any successes that you can talk about for the county, or is there much more work to be done?
You know, I think that politics is something that you're looking at every single day in our country, and what we at the county do is want to be just our steady partner. We want to make sure that we're partnering with our local. You know, we have a number of cities and townships within our county, and the state and federal partners. Our goal is to be in strong relationship. You know, we wrapped up legislative session with some wins and some opportunities that we're going to need some additional funding, and we also just continue to work every day to work for you.
Well, you're going to be hosting a big party tonight at the Depot, which is one of your amazing buildings that the county runs. Talk about what's happening and being activated in that space.
We love the Depot. So if you're ever going down to the Depot, that's St. Louis County's living room. So we have an opportunity to really enjoy just hosting folks. So it's a historic place. A lot of people have come through there over the years, and now our goal is really to activate it. If you have an event, bring it down there. If you're spend time there, jump on a train, catch the ballet, catch the other places. It's a place that we are really bringing arts and culture together in our community, and it's so great that we get to host something there.
One of the things I'm most excited about is the upgrades that have been done in that theater. The theater is so beautiful there. I'm so excited to see it activated and be having live musical performances or theater. It's just such a gem that I think our community needs to know more about.
It is. Thank you. I think thanks for that additional reminder. There's so much happening in the building. Our investments for that are great because the theater doesn't belong to just one organization. It belongs to all St. Louis County residents. So if you have something you want to put on stage, you can work with us to get there. But we have people from Broadway writing shows and coming in to serve there. We've got the opera that fills up every couple months. We've got the ballet using it. We've got a Nick Cage movie festival once a year that actually draws a pretty big crowd. We've got a coffee festival coming this fall. What is great about St. Louis County is that, we're from Duluth to the Canadian border. We're your partner. That's a place you can gather, but we've got places on the range as well too. We've got a camp up north where we have where we have kids at camp this summer that are learning and growing. So it's exciting.
St. Louis County Commissioner Annie Harla, thanks for being with us again. Another successful weekend ahead. We're going to take a quick break and thank those sponsors who are helping make this event possible. We'll be right back.
The Duluth Airshow would like to thank all of our sponsors and partners for helping us host the largest air show in Minnesota. We would like to thank Essentia Health, Cirrus Aircraft, Edward Jones, Black Bear Casino Resort, Synovus Superior Refinery, Kern & Company. Official aircraft services are provided by Monaco Air Duluth, B105 FM, Northern News Now, St. Louis County, Minnesota, Jimmy John's, Chase Security, J.R. Jensen Construction, Pier B Resort, Arrowhead Printing, City of Duluth, Frame Corner and Gallery, Anytime Fitness, Country Inn and Suites, AVR, Lynette's Portrait Design, Consolidated Communications, and Helver Lines.
Welcome back to the 2025 Duluth Air and Aviation Expo presented by Essentia Health. I have another special guest with me now. We have John Gidley. He is the Executive Director of the Bong Museum. Just across the bridge, our friends over in Superior. Thanks for joining us again. Tell us about what brings you down here today.
Well, thanks for having us. We always have been a part of the air show. Ryan's been gracious enough to allow us to booth here, and we always pass the bucks that are sponsored certain things. So it's a great time of the year for us, and we get to see a lot of people, a lot of air enthusiasts, and draw them over to our museum over in Superior and get to tell our story, which is kind of what we're all about.
Tell us about that story briefly, if you could. What can folks see when they go over to the Bong Museum? I love it over there. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a very well put together museum. We packed a lot of things in a small space. We have an actual P-38 Lightning, a lot of artifacts from Major Richard Bong's life. We have a oral history walk through the Vietnam and Korean Wars, a lot of World War II memorabilia. We tell the story of America's veterans from World War II going forward. So we cover as much as we can in the space that we have. But we have a lot of exciting autographs. We have a big tank out front. It's fun for all ages. And educational for all ages as well.
Well, let's talk about some of those artifacts in that history. You have a team right now in New Guinea, and I remember last year we were talking about this expedition that you guys were on. Now a year later, you're still doing it. Tell us about what your team is doing out there.
Yeah, the original plane that Dick Bong flew that had his then girlfriend, fiance, eventual wife Marge, he put her picture on pinup style on the side of his plane. That plane flew for a few weeks and had about 10 or 12 missions, and he actually scored 3 victories in it, I believe. Well, that plane was lost in a reconnaissance mission when another pilot was flying it, and it went down in New Guinea, and seeing there was no fatalities, they never investigated the wreck. And our curator and other people as well as attached to the Bond Center always wondered what happened to that plane. Well, we sent out an expedition last year, and they found it. And things have developed over, last year this time of the air show, it was kind of the big news for us was finding it. So as we speak right now, our curator's in the air on the way over to New Guinea to establish, on this side of the States, we've established a sister city program with them, and they're going to sign up for the final details of that. She's going to tour the National Museum and Art Gallery in New Guinea, and they've been kind of working with us to protect the site. And as it turns out, they kind of want us to preserve a few of the artifacts. And it's a possibility we could have some pieces of that wreckage come back here. At first, it was just to make the connection, and now it seems like they kind of want us to have those things. So that'd be great for us if we can get them. But it's our goal has always just been to kind of make the connection, preserve the site, and find the wreckage. So, but Brianna's over there, and we'll learn more, I'm sure, in the next couple of weeks. It's going to be very, very exciting.
It would be amazing to have some of that local history brought back here, wouldn't it? I mean, that would just be phenomenal. Talk about summer programming. You have a lot going on over there the summer months at the Bong Museum. What can folks look forward to?
Yeah, the summer's a busy place over there. This past week we had the Rear Admiral in for a visit. Yesterday we had the commander of the Ronald Reagan. We have a junior curator program going on that all summer long where we bring middle schoolers in and they collect oral histories from veterans and then make a mini exhibit to honor their service. And that's a great way of connecting to the youth. We also have our Bong Squadron summer tour guide program where we bring in high school kids and they give tours throughout the summer. We call it a heavy metal tour where they give you an in-depth look at our tank and then at our P-38 Lightning, and you culminate the tour by go in and take a look into the cockpit. So a lot of exciting things there, and we always try to keep it a buzzing.
Now, you have an exhibit here. You're literally standing right behind us. What can folks see if they come and see you at your booth today?
Basically, it's an informational table with a lot of P-38 swag and T-shirts and things like that that connect you to the Bong Center. We have some books about Major Bong. We're basically there. I have 4 or 5 volunteers that will man the booth all weekend long, and they do a great job of telling people the story of Major Bong, just getting connected and promoting the museum. And that's what we're here for, and to revel with the other air enthusiasts. The biggest air enthusiast I know was Dick Bong. So I mean, had he lived, this would have been right up his alley. All sorts of things, all things aviation, what he was interested in. So we try and share that enthusiasm and pass it down to generations.
All right, John Gidley, Executive Director of the Bong Museum, thank you for joining us. Have a great Air Expo. We appreciate it. We're going to take a quick break and thank our sponsors who are making the 2025 Duluth Air and Aviation Expo possible.
The Duluth Airshow would like to thank all of our sponsors and partners for helping us host the largest air show in Minnesota. We would like to thank Essentia Health, Cirrus Aircraft, Edward Jones, Black Bear Casino Resort, Synovus Superior Refinery, Star Tribune, Como Oil and Propane, Burnix, Members Cooperative Credit Union, Super One Foods, Waste Management, Sheraton Hotel Duluth, City of Hermantown, Blackwoods Grill and Bar, Lake Superior Helicopters, 148th Fighter Wing, RS&H, Arrowhead Transit, Canal Park Brewing, RJ Sport and Cycle, Grandma's Marathon, Jamar, Destination Duluth, and Barker's Island Inn and Resort.
Welcome back to the 2025 Duluth Air and Aviation Expo, presented by Essentia Health. We have 2 major demonstration teams joining us this year, which is a historical weekend here in Duluth. And one of those is the Canadian Forces Snowbirds. There they are. Look at the video of them. They are so fantastic. It's great seeing them roar over the skies of Duluth. And joining me now live is Phil Rochon. He is with the Canadian Forces Snowbirds. Phil, it is great to have you with us again. Talk to us about your involvement here in this year's show.
Oh, we're extremely happy to be back in Duluth. We were here last year. We had our Snowbird Spectacular over the waterfront, and the reception we got from the citizens of Duluth was amazing. We just had to come back to experience the full show again this year.
Talk to us a little bit about what the goal is for the Canadian Forces Snowbirds in taking part in an event like this.
Well, really, our job is inspiring, and same as all the military jet teams, it's inspiring people to pursue their dreams, whether it be aviation, military, or whatever really they want to do. So really being able to see the jets, 9 individual pilots flying in perfect formation, seeing the training, and for us being able to get to talk to the fans and the spectators at the fence line or at the autograph line, and really telling them where we came from. Some of our pilots have some amazing stories of not thinking they'd ever be a pilot to then flying with Canada's premier jet team, and it's amazing to see the reaction of people. We hope that maybe one person out of that group will pursue their dreams and become the next astronaut, the next Blue Angel, the next Snowbird.
You guys make it look so seamless, especially this summer when the team was flying over the lake. It was amazing, but it takes a lot of work to make it look that good. Tell us what the team goes through to prepare for a show like this.
So basically, as soon as our season ends in October, we go right into training. So we start really with building blocks. So we have training partners. So one side of the formation will pair up with the other one in the same aircraft. And they'll start right off the bat doing loops and doing the simple maneuvers, graduating to more complex maneuvers, and then they split off into 9 aircraft. They build the opening of the show, the integrated, the middle portion, and then the end. And then we go to Comox, British Columbia in May, and we do a month there where it's really putting the full show together. It's living sort of the air show circuit away from home, where we gel as a team, and really it's 2 to 3 flights per day, and the pilots are working hard, the coordinators are working hard, the technicians are, I can't talk enough about our technicians who are working countless numbers of hours to make sure our aircraft that are older, they're 1960s vintage aircraft, are show ready every time we need them.
Are there any specific maneuvers or segments of the performance that we're going to see today that are your favorite or that the folks should look for as a highlight?
One of my favorites is always the leg back cross, where you'll see 4 aircraft coming in with a 5th in the middle. It almost looks like a 5 face from a dice. And then they'll split. And that's one of our favorite maneuvers. But one that's really nice this year, we tongue-in-cheek stole it from our British friends. It's called Tornado, where the team will come in and our solos will be doing loops around the smoke trail. So that's one of our favorite this year. The crowd loves it this year, so we're extremely happy to be able to show that. Hopefully the weather will allow us to be able to do that maneuver today, but we keep our fingers crossed that we'll be able to fly today.
Yeah, the weather's got to be tricky, because it's got to be perfect in order for your team to do some of those amazing things. What message do you want to leave folks if they're out there and they're young and they're aspiring to be in the aviation field or aspiring pilots?
You have to chase your dreams. For myself, I wanted to be a pilot. Couldn't be a pilot in the military at the time, so I wear glasses, and Canada's military didn't allow it when I joined. But I always had that snowbird dream in the back of my head, and it took me 20 some years to get it, but I'm wearing the red flight suit. It's that you have to be persistent with your dreams and work as hard as you can, study hard, and never give up. Don't take no for an answer, and if anybody can reach their dreams, it's just having that persistence.
Great message, Phil. Thank you for being with us again. Phil Rochon with the Canadian Forces Snowbirds, one of our 2 major demonstration teams here today. Thanks. Have a great show. We appreciate it. All right, so for all of those of you at home who are just on their way here to the show, here is the latest parking information for you. You can see it on your screen there. As much as possible, buy your parking ahead of time. It's right on their website. Just go to DuluthAirshow.com to buy those parking tickets. Those tickets are not sold anywhere else, so please beware of scammers. The orange lot, you'll see it on your left side of your screen there, that is sold out for both today and tomorrow, but the teal and the green are still available. And of course, make sure to have patience. There are a lot of people that are going to be out here over the next couple of days with long lines, so please make sure to be patient with all the volunteers who are working those parking lots. We also want to share some insider tips to make your airshow experience the best that it can be. Look, right on their website, they have a page called Insider Tips for the Duluth Airshow. First and foremost, bring ear protection, especially for those kids. Some of the planes, they get really loud. We were out here the other day doing rehearsal, and it scared us a couple of times. The announcers, though, they do a really great job of making sure to let the crowd know when earplugs are needed. Also, our presenting sponsor, Essentia Health, has free earplugs here at the expo. So stop by their booth and you can get some of those. Also, plan to eat on site. There is no food or beverage allowed, outside food or beverages, I should say, allowed in. Cash is fine. A lot of the vendors do allow cards as well. And also, when you're tagging us on Facebook and your social media, please use the hashtag Duluth Airshow. All right, we're going to take a quick break and thank those sponsors who are helping make this event possible.
The Duluth Airshow would like to thank all of our sponsors and partners for helping us host the largest air show in Minnesota. We would like to thank Essentia Health, Cirrus Aircraft, Edward Jones, Black Bear Casino Resort, Synovus Superior Refinery, Renewal by Anderson, United States Marine Corps, Navy League of Minnesota, Boat Club Restaurant and Bar, Chick-fil-A, Penske, Miller Lite, Senate Blacktop, Minnesota Power, Lakeshore Ice, Holiday Inn and Suites Downtown, Holiday Station Stores, Hampton Inn Superior, Holiday Inn Express Superior, Duluth International Airport, Suites at Waterfront, Fleet Farm, and Kraus Anderson.
Welcome back to the 2025 Duluth Air and Aviation Expo presented by Essentia. We're going to keep the Canadian theme going just a bit longer here this morning. I'm joined by Colin McLeod. He is with the Consulate General of Canada. Colin, thanks for being with us. How does it feel to have those Canadian 4 Snowbirds here at our expo this year?
It's fantastic. They're a great source of national pride. And so anytime they're in the area, we try to come and see them. I noticed lots of Canadian license plates as I was coming in, so it really seems like people showed up to see them.
You hit on it just a little bit there, but what is the Canadian presence here at the Aviation Expo this year? What does that mean for that relationship between our two?
I think now more than ever, it's super important. I look up north here and you've got the ties with the Boundary Waters, Quetico Provincial Park, Grand Marais, all these beautiful communities, including Duluth and Superior. And so to have Canadians buy tickets, come down here is really important. And so it means a lot to see a lot of fellow Canadians in the area.
How about that connection in the aviation industry between the two countries? How important is it to have that?
It goes way back. We're talking, we've been allies standing shoulder to shoulder for decades, for a century. And so when it comes to aviation, that's very important. Canada's announced that they're buying the F-35 jets as well, and so I think that'll further maintain that partnership with the U.S.
So from a diplomatic perspective, how do you really leverage events like this, where you're highlighted, to work on those relationships between the countries and foster that goodwill between the U.S. and Canada?
Sure. So there's 3 main things we do at the Consulate. So one is helping Canadian businesses increase their trade and exports to the U.S. Second, we maintain relationships with politicians and other decision makers who try to advocate for Canadian interests. And then my favorite is the third part, which is maintaining, as you said, those people-to-people ties. And so that's where we get to celebrate Canadian artists, Canadian musicians, the strong relationship between our Canadian Armed Forces and the military here. And so because that's gone back for so many decades, this is a nice event to have to celebrate those ties.
Is this your first Duluth Air and Aviation Expo?
It is. I am very excited. I hope the weather clears up, but even if it doesn't, I see lots of smiles here as people are walking in.
So now you can't be jaded with your answer to this question, because I know you want to say the Canadian 4 Snowbirds, but what are you most looking forward to with today's expo?
So with the caveat that, of course, the Snowbirds are my favorite that I'm looking forward to, the Blue Angels. That has such a lore and kind of the American mystique and history, and just seeing them parked outside here, I'm very excited to see them.
All right, Colin, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you being here with us, and have a great Air and Aviation Expo. All right, we have plenty more ahead here at the 2025 Air and Aviation Expo, brought to you by Essentia Health. In our next half hour, we've got the Commanding General of the USS Ronald Reagan joining us live. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
The Duluth Airshow would like to thank all of our sponsors and partners for helping us host the largest air show in Minnesota. We would like to thank Essentia Health, Cirrus Aircraft, Edward Jones, Black Bear Casino Resort, Synovus Superior Refinery, Renewal by Anderson, United States Marine Corps, Navy League of Minnesota, Boat Club Restaurant and Bar, Chick-fil-A, Penske, Miller Lite, Senate Blacktop, Minnesota Power, Lakeshore Ice, Holiday Inn and Suites Downtown, Holiday Station Stores, Hampton Inn Superior, Holiday Inn Express Superior, Duluth International Airport, Suites at Waterfront, Fleet Farm, and Kraus Anderson.
Aviation Expo presented by Essentia Health. I'm Jason Vincent, excited to be here this morning to help celebrate a historic weekend in Duluth. The crowds are starting to come in, which has been great to see. Lots of folks walking in with their bag chairs and yes, maybe a poncho, but they're just planning ahead, which is great. Right now, no rain here at the Expo grounds, which has been great to see after that rain overnight. If you are enjoying this live broadcast on YouTube or Facebook, share it with your friends. We've got a half hour more of fun still ahead. We're going to be sharing information with you to make your visit here to the air show seamless and focused on all the excitement that is happening in the sky. We also have a couple more interviews with supporters that are helping to make this event possible. So let's kick off right away this half hour with a look at the weather, because it's what everybody's thinking about right now. As I said earlier, no rain right now here at the air show grounds, which is great, but it never hurts to be prepared. Make sure to pack that poncho with you. Ponchos definitely work better than umbrellas. Once you get that umbrella up, the folks behind you can't see very well. Look at the live radar here, folks. The rain is starting to move away, which is good news for us here at the Duluth Air and Aviation Expo. You can see it's making its way, that clearing line close to Duluth, which we are looking forward to. One thing that they're going to be paying attention to a lot are the ceilings of the clouds. They do need about 1,200-foot ceilings to get those planes in the air, but they're going to do their best to get those planes in the air as much as possible. So it's going to be a little bit of a dance all day as they check those cloud ceilings to see where they are at. One thing to keep in mind, the air show still goes on, whether it's raining or not. Those planes can still fly in the air, even with the rain. Well, let's take a look at what it takes to put on an air show like this every year. It's essentially unheard of for a community, particularly of Duluth size, to have a major air show every year, but yet here we are. The first Duluth Air and Aviation Expo was brought to you by the Kern Company back in 2001. At that time, it was every other year, but then in 2016, it became an annual event. Here's another interesting fact for you. This Duluth Air and Aviation Expo presented by Essentia is the largest ticketed event north of the Twin Cities. It's going to bring about 50,000 spectators to the Duluth area over this weekend, and with them, they're bringing a lot of money. It is going to generate about $15 million in economic impact for our region. Now, as I said, this Air and Aviation Expo this year, it is a historic one. The Duluth Air Show is the only Minnesota air show hosting a major demonstration team in 2025. But it's not just one, folks. This is the first time in Duluth Air Show history 2 major demonstration teams are performing at the same time. Of course, we are talking about the U.S. Navy Blue Angels and the Canadian Forces Snowbirds. Now, one of those great partners that we have a chance to partner with here is the aerial. I'm gonna butcher it. So why don't you just tell us what it is, Gonzalez?
Hey, it's Aerial Events Program Manager for headquarters of ATC. We do all the training for the Air Force. So any plane you see flying in the Air Force, you got to come through us first. So we're referred as the first command. Everybody trains through us. We sent them out to the world, and they love it.
So what is the best part about being a part of the Air and Aviation Expo?
Especially here, they show the true sense of commitment to the air show industry. But we do it because it's given back to the taxpayer. These are your planes, these are your pieces of equipment, and if we can't show what you got us to go fight a war, then we're failing. So we don't want to fail, and Duluth is an amazing location to come to. Like you said, the largest air show in North, and it's amazing for recruiting. It's just a spectacular event, and we support it 100%.
So what can people see when they come out here today from your organization?
So one of the Air Force aircraft is the F-22 Raptor demo team, and that is probably the best demo individual aircraft you can see. And then we have static aircraft like the T-38, who does the initial training for all pilots coming through the Air Force, and the T-6. So if you really want to see a good grasp of how they progress from the basics to the Raptor, they're here.
What is your favorite part about being a part of the Duluth Air and Aviation Expo?
The people. The people make it all. I mean, sometimes you go to locations and it's okay, but here everybody's so good. They embrace the whole air show experience, and it's just enjoyable for everybody. They come back for that reason, and it makes everything right.
Have you been out here to the Duluth Air Show before?
Yes, this is like my 5th time, and anytime Ryan and Lindsay ask me out, absolutely.
So when you thought about coming back this year, what was that one thing that you were like, I can't wait to see or do that again?
The view. This city is beautiful. I don't think they get the credit they deserve. And yesterday we were on the water. What a spectacular view. And you can't beat it. You don't find that anywhere else that I've been to.
Joseph Gonzalez with the Air Education and Training Command, thank you so much. Tell us where people can interact with you and your team.
So me and the team will be on the grounds. You can see the bright red shirts. But anybody in a flight suit, stop. They want to talk to you. So don't hesitate. They're more than happy. Bring the kids out. Those are the inspiration of the future, and we have a positive future going forward.
You know, that's one of the best things about an event like this is aspiring that younger generation to not only be interested in aviation, but possibly be a part of the military. That's a huge part of an expo like this.
Exactly. And all we can tell you is we can only train you the best that we know how. And if you know Air Force pilots, any of the pilots, Navy, any of the aviators within the whole military organization, you come out as one of the best. That's why the airlines and corporate, they wait for us. Why? Because we bring the best, and they can't even train to that level.
All right, Joseph, thank you so much for being a part of the show today. We appreciate it. Enjoy your 5th Air and Aviation Expo. We're going to take a quick break and thank our sponsors who are helping make today possible.
The Duluth Air Show would like to thank all of our sponsors and partners for helping us host the largest air show in Minnesota. We would like to thank Essentia Health, Cirrus Aircraft, Edward Jones, Black Bear Casino Resort, Synovus Superior Refinery, Star Tribune, Como Oil and Propane, Burnix, Members Cooperative Credit Union, Super One Foods, Waste Management, Sheraton Hotel Duluth, City of Hermantown, Blackwoods Grill and Bar, Lake Superior Helicopters, 148th Fighter Wing, RS&H, Arrowhead Transit, Canal Park Brewing, RJ Sport and Cycle, Grandma's Marathon, Jamar, Destination Duluth, and Barker's Island Inn and Resort.
Welcome back to the 2025 Duluth Air and Aviation Expo. Well, as you may have heard, all week Duluth has been celebrating Navy Week. And to tell us more about this week-long celebration, I am joined by Captain Dale Gregory. He is the commanding officer of the USS Ronald Reagan. It is great to have you here, Captain. Tell us about your time so far in Duluth.
We have had a great time. We got over 70 sailors here celebrating Navy Week, only 15 Navy Weeks throughout the country. The hospitality has been outstanding. We spent a lot of time here in Duluth. Last night the fireworks show was amazing. The lift bridge, over at the William Irvin. We've been really all over participating in the community. Even over in Superior, Wisconsin, we took part in the 4th of July parade yesterday.
Well, you picked the perfect time to come. Let's start with that. But why is it important for the Navy to connect with the community in an event like a Navy Week?
Yeah, it's a great opportunity. We have fleet concentration areas in Norfolk and San Diego, but we don't have the opportunity to bring aircraft carriers throughout the country. But we have over 350,000 active duty sailors. We have 800,000 total when you look at the United States Navy and the Marines, government civilians, reservists. They're serving all over the world today. We have 4 carrier strike groups, and it's an opportunity now for us to reach out to the community and remind them that we're your Navy and what we do. And that's why we bring sailors. We had sailors all the way from Guam, from Guantanamo Bay, from Washington, D.C., from myself on board the Ronald Reagan in Bremerton, Washington, to talk to people about what we do in the Navy for you, because that's what we really do. We serve communities throughout the country.
So you've had a wide range of engagements, from speaking to students, you were in the parade, like you said, yesterday. What moments stood out to you in your time here?
The smiles on everybody's faces. I will tell you, the Starbase was an outstanding opportunity for me. Those rising 5th graders, 4th graders, and 6th graders, they were outstanding. The other thing was in the parade, the kickoff for the air show, the patriotism. You know, it's great here on the 249th anniversary signing the Declaration of Independence. It's 250th anniversary of the founding of the Navy this year, and to see the patriotism here in the Duluth area has really brought a smile to a lot of my sailors' faces too.
So for those who don't have a direct connection to the military, what would you say for them to take away from an event like this week?
There's a lot of opportunities. Sometimes you got to give more than you get. But the Navy is an opportunity where there's a lot of open doors. We have over 146 officer commissioning sources of different ratings. We have 120 enlisted ratings. There's a lot of opportunities out there that we try to make sure that people understand what are there for them. For me, I'm a naval flight officer, but I command a ship. I have had a lot of opportunities in the Navy, and we try to share those opportunities so that way we can encourage people to serve more than themselves in their country.
Talk about your time on the ship. You were a commanding officer. Give us a little bit about your history.
Yeah, so I actually went to the United States Naval Academy. I graduated in 1997. I had the privilege of being an F-14 Rio, and then as the F-14s went away, I was a F-18 Weapons Systems Officer. I commanded an F-18 Squadron, VFA 211, out of NAS Oceana in Virginia Beach. I then went through the Navy's nuclear power program, was the executive officer of the USS Abraham Lincoln, another Nimitz-class carrier out of San Diego, and then had the opportunity to serve overseas. I was part of the forward deployed naval forces in Japan as the commanding officer of the Navy's oldest operational ship, the USS Blue Ridge, which is the flagship of the 7th Fleet. Before the country's given me the honor of serving with the greatest Americans that I know, the 3,000 men and women of the USS Ronald Reagan.
So is this the capstone event of Duluth Week, or do you have other things that are, or Navy Week I should say, or do you have other events that are happening?
We have events all over, but this is the culmination of the event. It's hard to outdo the Blue Angels. So we've really tied the two events together, Navy Week and the 70 sailors that are here out in the community doing community outreach, and then to the event here this week at the air show with the Blue Angels.
Well, Captain Dale Gregory, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it and hope you enjoyed all your time here in Duluth over the past few days. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, we're going to take a quick break and thank all of our sponsors who are help making this weekend's event possible.
The Duluth Airshow would like to thank all of our sponsors and partners for helping us host the largest air show in Minnesota. We would like to thank Essentia Health, Cirrus Aircraft, Edward Jones, Black Bear Casino Resort, Synovus Superior Refinery, Renewal by Anderson, United States Marine Corps, Navy League of Minnesota, Boat Club Restaurant and Bar, Chick-fil-A, Penske, Miller Lite, Senate Blacktop, Minnesota Power, Lakeshore Ice, Holiday Inn and Suites Downtown, Holiday Station Stores, Hampton Inn Superior, Holiday Inn Express Superior, Duluth International Airport, Suites at Waterfront, Fleet Farm, and Kraus Anderson.
Welcome back to the 2025 Duluth Air and Aviation Expo, brought to you by Essentia Health. The crowds are rolling in. It's going to be a beautiful day here in Duluth. I have a special guest joining me now. We have U.S. Congressman Pete Stauber, who is making a stop by the Expo today. Thanks for being with us today. How's it feel to be able to be out here today?
It's great to be with you, Jason. You know, the Duluth Air Show is one of the best in the nations, and all the people that come here that want to see the demonstration and show their pride, their patriotic love for this country, it's unbelievable. It's so exciting. This is the 2 days of the year so many of us are looking for.
You've had a busy week. It's nice to be away from Washington. You said you're bringing your little one out here for the first time. What do you hope little ones like that walk away from with a week like this or a weekend like this?
Well, so before I came up here on the stage here, I went to show my son the Blue Angels, and he said, "Dad, those are blue airplanes." I said, "They're the sound of freedom, son." So bringing the youth here and understanding what our military means and how we need our military to keep us safe. We saw that 2 weeks ago. The great mission that our men and women accomplished for this nation kept us safe. So this is just an add-on to it.
What does a weekend like this mean for your district? It's a big event. We've talked about it, $15 million. It generates an economic impact, 50,000 people coming. That's huge for the 8th District.
Yeah, and in fact, some of those numbers are even go higher, Jason. We're looking at about a $20 million impact to Duluth, St. Louis County. And what I say is everybody, the community rallies around this event. There are people, Jason, that take their vacations and come and volunteer at the air show. It's Minnesota nice, right? And I couldn't be more proud. This is a great event.
So for someone who's sitting at home and has never been to the Air and Aviation Expo before, what do you tell them to get them off the couch and come take part in this event?
You come up to the air show, you can buy tickets, general admission tickets, they're cheap. You can come and see the greatest demonstration of air power. You can see what the military means to us, and just a bunch of patriotic people. You can have the food, all the food you want, and the beverages of your choice. This is a great event, and again, Jason, when you look at this and what it does and what it signifies, this is American patriotism.
And more than that, too, I've had a couple of folks up with the Canadian Forces Snowbirds and then the Consulate office down in the Twin Cities. It's great to have our Canadian folks here showing that partnership between. We live so close to them.
Absolutely. Canada is our best ally, and they will continue to be our best ally. So to have the Snowbirds here demonstration at this event, it's going to be an awesome experience. And I know that Ryan and his team have done a great job. Every single year, this air show is one of the best in the country, if not the best.
The best. Congressman Pete Stauber, thank you for joining us today. Enjoy the expo. Get that little guy out there to see all the fun stuff it has to offer.
Absolutely. Jason, great to see you.
You too. We're going to take a quick break and thank our sponsors who are helping make this historic event possible.
The Duluth Air Show would like to thank all of our sponsors and partners for helping us host the largest air show in Minnesota. We would like to thank Essentia Health, Cirrus Aircraft, Edward Jones, Black Bear Casino Resort, Synovus Superior Refinery, Renewal by Anderson, United States Marine Corps, Navy League of Minnesota, Boat Club Restaurant and Bar, Chick-fil-A, Penske, Miller Lite, Senate Blacktop, Minnesota Power, Lakeshore Ice, Holiday Inn and Suites Downtown, Holiday Station Stores, Hampton Inn Superior, Holiday Inn Express Superior, Duluth International Airport, Suites at Waterfront, Fleet Farm, and Kraus Anderson.
Welcome back to the 2005 Duluth Air and Aviation Expo, presented by Essentia Health. They've been a longtime supporter of this event, and joining me now is Dr. Adam Ryuta with Essentia Health. Thank you so much for being with us and being such a big supporter of this event. What does it mean for Essentia to be our presenting sponsor yet again?
Well, it's quite amazing. Thank you very much for having us. We're a proud partner with the air show. Happy to be here today.
Tell us a little bit about what you do with Essentia and your role with the hospital.
Yeah, so I'm an emergency medicine physician. I'm also a senior division chair for regional practices in the Northland here. And I've been with Essentia for about 16 years.
So what is your experience? Did you get to take part in a promotional flight, I hear?
I did.
Talk to me a little bit about what you did.
Oh, it was amazing. I was on a B-25 yesterday afternoon. It was a beautiful day, beautiful weather, an amazing crew by the Commemorative Air Force. It was really a pretty humbling experience, to be honest with you. I was there as a spectator, right, looking at the beautiful scenery. But it's hard to believe that just 80 short years ago, the men flying those planes were there for a vastly different mission, literally fighting for their lives and fighting for our country. So it was a quite humbling experience. It was remarkable.
So how fast did you get in that aircraft? I'm not familiar with how fast that aircraft even goes.
Yeah, we were really at cruising speed, so I'm not exactly sure of the speeds. I was more looking at the scenery of the surrounding Duluth area than the speedometer there, but it was pretty remarkable.
But you stayed conscious the entire time. That was probably the most important part.
Yeah, there were no G's. No significant G's anyway, yeah.
I love it. So Essentia Health built a brand new facility here in 2023. It's been a huge part of our downtown area. Talk to me about what that facility has meant to Duluth.
Oh, it's amazing. You know, first and foremost, the building was meant to be designed to serve our patients in a healing environment. And I think that really applies to both patients and families and our staff members who get to work there. It's really a remarkable upgrade for our facility. Probably the biggest one is essentially all private rooms, which is important for patients' healing. A lot of improvements in the workflows and efficiencies of the work that we do every day. It's a wonderful upgrade for us.
Can you tell me a little bit about the care that's available here in Duluth relative to other parts of the state?
I'm really proud of the comprehensive level of care that's available to Northlanders. Really, short of a very few niche medical specialty, things like transplant, we have available for our patients nearly every medical specialty one might need. We really have access to some incredible, talented specialists around our area.
Incredible. Well, thank you again for being our presenting sponsor for yet another year and all the support that you've given the Duluth Air Show. We appreciate it. We're going to take one more quick break and we'll be back to wrap things up with Lindsay Kern from the Duluth Air Show, and we'll see how this year's air show is shaping up.
The Duluth Air Show would like to thank all of our sponsors and partners for helping us host the largest air show in Minnesota. We would like to thank Essentia Health, Cirrus Aircraft, Edward Jones, Black Bear Casino Resort, Synovus Superior Refinery, Comfort Inn, Hampton Inn, Canal Park Lodge, Lake Superior College, True by Hilton, Lift Bridge Lodge, Arrow Point Medical Center, Sun Country Airlines, Ridgeview Country Club, Dairy Queen, Daymark Designs, Northland Fitness, Grandma's Saloon and Grill, Residence Inn Duluth, Hampton Inn Duluth Mall area, and Johnson, Killen, and Seiler.
Welcome back, folks, to the 2025 Duluth Air and Aviation Expo, presented by Essentia Health. We are live here on the air show grounds. You can see the folks are just piling into the air show, which is great. We've got rain showers that are moving out of the way, and it's going to be a beautiful day here up at the Duluth Airport. Taking a live look there at the radar from our folks up at the National Weather Service, you can see that rain line is out of the area. Now we just got to get those clouds cleared up, and we are going to have a beautiful air show here in Duluth. It was a little iffy with all that rain coming in last night, but it is looking to be a beautiful day. All right, so for those of you who are still at home and making your way here to the Air and Aviation Expo, let's talk about parking. It's what a lot of people talk about this time. As you're getting in the car, you're going to be focused on the teal and green lots. Those lots are still available. The orange lot is sold out. If you do want to purchase your parking ahead of time, just go to DuluthAirshow.com and you can purchase your parking tickets online. Only purchase your parking tickets on their website. So be very careful not to have a scam website. It is DuluthAirshow.com. And just remember, folks, as you're coming here today, patience is key. There are a lot of folks that will be joining us this weekend. We're expecting upwards of 50,000 people to be joining this weekend and all the fun that we have out here. So pack those patience as you are heading out to the air show. Let's share a couple of insider tips for you quick as well. These are also on their website, DuluthAirshow.com. First and foremost, make sure to have that ear protection. That will be very important as those Snowbirds and Blue Angels get up in the air. Essentia Health, the presenting sponsor, does have earbuds here available, but you may want to bring the larger style earbuds for the kids. Those are very helpful. Also, make sure to bring a bag chair. Almost every person walking by us right now has one, which is good news for them because they don't have to sit on the ground. That's the best part. So if you're in general admission, bring a bag chair. That is going to help you out a lot. If you're in the presidential chalet or frontline seats, you do have seats available to you. Also, plan to eat on site. Outside food and beverages are not allowed. Cash is king here. They will accept some credit cards at some of the vendors. I wanted to bring Information Director Lindsay Kern back up because they have done a little bit of their briefing so far, and we want to talk about how things are panning out. Looks like the rain is ending.
So my hair is still a little bit wet from this morning, but my jacket is off and things are drying out. It feels really good out there. It's warming up, the rain is stopping, the ceiling is lifting like we've talked about so much. So really, just like you were talking about earlier, we're looking for patience from everyone today as you're coming in, as you exit today, and then as we are spending time with one another. Just be patient as we get started. We're anticipating an on-time start, so we're excited about that too. We're going to get everything that we can up in the air today, and we're working hard for that.
That is so great to hear because, it was doom and gloom leading up to this week. It looked like an absolute washout. But, it's Duluth. Anything happens here in Duluth. One of the things that I wanted to have you briefly mention, it just totally escaped my mind. What was it? Shoot. I don't know. It just left my mind.
Let's talk a little bit about, you were mentioning about bringing in bag chairs and those types of things. And so if you are doing that general admission seating, bring your own chair with you. We want you to be comfortable. This is different than like if you were in a park or something like that. There's no grass here. We are on pavement. We need aircraft to be able to move about this area, so it needs to be solid pavement, and that's what we have here. So your chairs are going to be sturdy. Don't bring a blanket to sit on the ground. That's not going to probably be the most comfortable for you while you're here today. But bring those brimmed hats, bring those sunglasses, get your sunscreen ready because I think we're going to need it later in the day.
I remembered what I was going to say. It just takes me a minute sometimes. It comes and it goes quickly. Schedule. A lot of people always say, well, when is this happening? When are they taking the air? That schedule is so flexible. Talk about why you don't post a schedule and why your team needs to keep that flexible.
Right. So we want to work with the weather, right? We want to work inside those pockets that we have to be able to get different performers in the air. Different performers have different requirements of cloud ceiling that they need. They all need strong visibility, so that's the piece that we're working for right now as that weather starts to clear. But we really want to make sure that we can have that flexibility to get someone up in the air. Maybe if they weren't planned to be there originally, we want to make sure that we get in as many performers today as possible. So yeah, we're probably not going to post a schedule on social media or things like that because we want to have that flexibility. And we don't want to disappoint someone if we say at 2 o'clock this is happening, but we get them in at 1:30 and you're not here yet. So come early, plan to spend the day with us. It sounds like we're going to be in the sky.
Let's talk about for those folks that maybe are sitting at home and saying, I think I want to go tomorrow instead. Is that possible? What tickets are they able to do that? Talk about the particulars for that.
So general admission tickets. So if you bought a general admission ticket for Saturday and you're thinking that you would be comfortable here tomorrow, that's fine. You can use your ticket tomorrow as long as you don't use it today. So what you can't do is show up, have your ticket scanned, and then change your mind and leave and use it tomorrow. You do have to commit to one day or the other, but you have that flexibility with general admission tickets. Same thing if you have a Sunday ticket and you're like, you know what, it's clearing up, I'd like to come today. You can do that, come early.
Excellent. And parking, we haven't had too many issues, which is great. What do you recommend for folks? We're still recommending the teal and green lot.
So lots of flexibility in different options for parking. So there isn't a parking that goes with a specific type of seat while you're here. So your admission ticket is different than your parking ticket, and we do that so that you do have that flexibility. Some people want to be able to shuttle in and have that nice ride where they know they're going to be dropped off closest to the gate. Some people really want to be able to go back to their car if they needed to. The green lot is really what's going to offer that flexibility. It is still a walk. We are expecting 50,000 people over the weekend, and sometimes when travelers are coming to Duluth, they're not expecting that type of magnitude of an event, and so we're really used to that when we go to our Twin Cities Metro or different large cities. We're used to waiting for traffic, we're used to making those decisions and being patient, and a lot of times here in Duluth, we're used to zipping around really fast, and so again, waiting for that patience, thinking about those types of things. The green lot takes a little bit longer to empty at the end of the day, as well as the shuttle. So I love for people to stay after the performances are over, walk around, visit the vendors a little bit, give yourself some time, use the restrooms before you go back to those parking lots. A lot of times the demonstration teams are going to come up to the show line after their performance. It does take them a little while to be able to get out of the aircraft and make their way over to the show line, but that's a great opportunity at the end of the day too to be able to get autographs.
Seems like you've done this before, huh? One of the things that you may, if you're just joining us, not know is this is such a historic weekend in Duluth. It is the first time in Duluth Airshow history that there's been two major demonstration teams at the same air show. So you have the U.S. Navy Blue Angels and the Canadian Forces Snowbirds both taking the air this weekend. How in the world did you make that happen?
We have 3 sets of doubles. So we have 2 demonstration teams, like you said. We have Blue Angels, we have the Snowbirds from Canada, we have 2 jump teams. We have the Navy Leapfrogs, we have the Army's Golden Knights. That's ridiculous and so exciting. And then we also have 2 single ship demonstration teams. And so 3 sets of doubles is really remarkable. We've been working hard on this lineup. From what we've been told, this is the best lineup in the nation this summer. We're really proud of that. You're right, having 2 demonstration teams is a really big deal. And I believe that is because of the hospitality that this community shows to those humans who are here during these visits. It's important to us. Our hospitality, our tourism partners really roll out the red carpet, and our sponsors are who make this all possible. So all of those partners, all those sponsors that support this event and make it possible for something like this to happen. Economic impact of $20 million over this weekend, and being able to give back to our volunteer groups who are here. That's really important to us as well. So know that all of the volunteers that are here today working the food booths, in the parking lots, they are working to support a cause that's important to them, whether that's a youth sports team, whether that's a faith-based organization, whether that is the Lions Club or Boy Scouts. They're all here raising money for their organizations.
I hate to even not talk about something other than this year because it is such a historic year, but is there a date when we should expect to hear about what's planned for next year?
I think we'll be able to announce that information really soon, probably in the next week or so.
There we go. You heard it here first from Lindsay. Within a week, we should know what's ahead for the 2026 Duluth Air and Aviation Expo. All right, folks, that's all we've got for you today here at this historic weekend in Duluth. We are so glad that you joined us. If you're still online on us with YouTube or Facebook, share this video so other folks can see it throughout the day today, because it's there. It's on the internet. It's alive for everybody to see. Folks are still streaming in the door to join us here at the Air and Aviation Expo for this historic weekend. I'm Jason Vincent. I thank you for joining us. We will be back tomorrow, 8 a.m. until 9 a.m. Have yourself a great Saturday, everyone.